This time of year isn't all candy canes and silver bells, you know. When it comes to the stories told at Christmas, it can get quite dark and scary. Writer Large Neil Mackay unravels the twisted history of the Christmas story. Unlike nearly everything else associated with Christmas, the stories we tell at this time of year are anything but cute, comfy and cozy. Christmas stories are dark and frightening. From the ghosts of A Christmas Carol to children's stories like The Lion, The Witch and the Wardrobe, these tales jar against the kitschness of gingerbread houses and pretty lights on the tree. The reason why festive stories are so dark lies in the deep roots of Christmas. As far as we know, there's always been some form of festival or ritual deep in the heart of midwinter in nearly all cultures, at least since primitive humans developed the concept of religion. We know our ancient ancestors staged important acts of worship at the winter solstice, which occurs around December 21 to 22 each year. This was a time to sit around a fire, while the wind howled outside, telling stories to keep the darkness at bay. Or a season of praying and sacrificing to old gods to keep evil from the home. These ancient festivals were about the dying of the sun. On the shortest day of the year it seemed as if the sun was in retreat, or might never return, and that was a terrifying concept for primitive people. The winter solstice became a festival of death and rebirth, something the early Christian church picked up on when they chose late December as the date of the birth of Christ, another symbol of death and rebirth. So the roots of Christmas lie in fear rather than simple celebration. As time rolled on, these winter celebrations adapted for different cultures. In ancient Rome it became Saturnalia. The Romans used the festival as a chance to explore fear. They turned the winter celebration into a time of misrule, when social norms were abandoned. Slaves were free for a day, theoretically. Saturnalia was edgy, to say the least. The ancient Greek festival called the Dionysia was even more mysterious and threatening than Saturnalia. The festival for the Greek god of wine and fertility was a time of chaos and real danger. Revelers would get drunk and rites could be violent, with devotees in a state of wine-induced religious ecstasy. There's still debate over whether human sacrifice occurred. In northern countries and Scandinavia, the Dionysia is echoed in the Wild Hunt, one of the most frightening European midwinter myths. It sees supernatural hunters ride through the sky in the depths of winter terrorizing human beings. The Wild Hunt is part of the Yule celebrations, a time when Germanic people made sacrifices to the old gods at the darkest time of the year. These dark myths and legends live on in folk tales we still know today. For more on this story, visit the news article link.